Everybody, welcome back, Northernlion. Well, it's Egg and Baby in the morning. Isn't it, baby? She's looking at me. Can I get a smile? What if I hit the note, the clarion call? Frog! She's like, yeah, that's the good stuff. Alright, I'll give you the rest later. On good behavior, okay? We're back. We randomed Eden. It is the 26th of March. 4 to 5 days until Repentance comes out. JLA3. Arlet. It's a very confusing seed for me. We're Eden with 3 HP, 2.5 HP. We have a really good stats, bad spacebar item, bad utility item. This is like I'm struggling right now. This is as close as you can get to basically a run of pure safety. It's almost unfathomable how this will end. Sorry, the neurons, they're still getting like up and running today. It's not that early, but you know, it's just hey, you know, if you got machines at a factory, or you got an old car or something like that, or you got an old house, occasionally, you know, you go to sleep in an old house, and you hear like, gong, 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 you know, something like that, and you're like, yo, what the heck's going on here? And they go, oh, don't worry, it's just the house settling. It's just noises that the house makes. That's kind of like, you know, a 32-year-old's brain. And my brain's still pretty good. It's I would almost describe it, believe it or not, at a unique upper maximum of a composite of both wisdom and actual speed right now. Brain's certainly slower than it was when I was, you know, 17. But at the same time, faster than it'll be when I'm 70. And, on top of that, much more wisdom at 32 than I had at 17, that's for sure. Now, am I just saying this to make myself, you know, feel better about the passage of time? Not really, I don't know. I don't mind the passage of time. We've said it before, but you know, there's trade-offs with everything in life. I think there's trade-offs, you know, in cognition as well. When you're 17, and baby, I'm telling this to you, it's an instructive tale, okay? You think you know everything, but 90% of your life is within the confines of a red brick building, you know, being instructed by teachers, you know? I'm not saying you don't know anything. And I would, you know, give a lot to have my brain go back to being able to multiply, like, a 3-digit number by a 2-digit number in my head. Nowadays, I think I could do it, but my brain, you know, it has almost like a management sort of bend to it now. Instead of just doing it and being done, it goes, you know, do you really want to do it? It'll take a lot of work. You're probably gonna, you know, forget one of the numbers halfway through and have to ask again. And then, you know, you're like, at this point, I'm like, I'll just, I'll delegate it. I'll delegate it to a calculator. The dangerous thing is that I also feel like most people that I talk to in like their 50s and above also feel like they know everything. Maybe everybody at every age just feels like they know everything. I don't know. The brain at 32 feels pretty good though. You have a tether to the young world. I know that the younger people watching this won't understand that because 32 will feel ancient to them. But you know, I am part of the smartphone generation. I mean, admittedly, the smartphone came out when I was like 20, but it wasn't like it was a device that, you know, I have no concept of how to use. Do I need to occasionally get my wife to explain how a new feature works? Yeah, I would say that more than once. That's happened. But that's more because I live a very analog life, I think. I'm still turning knobs, you know? I'm not using touchscreens, except for just about everything. Okay, you need to get frickin' Frozen, man. Like Anna and Elsa. See, I told you, many references to Zoomer culture, like Frozen. Hey, man, that's not... Wait, but no, it kind of is, right? Like, how old... What's the average person's age in Gen Z right now? Probably like 19? So you were like 13 when Frozen came out? You know, just because it hurts doesn't mean it's not true. Anyway, what am I doing here? I don't know. I don't regret taking Skinny Odd Mushroom. We definitely want to get a damage upgrade to take that to, well, to the bank, really, because our damage is kind of poor right now. We got soy milk damage, but not soy milk rate of fire. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Baby's had some milestones lately. We've been going out for, like, an hour-long walk, by which I mean, you know, I just push her around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna push your stroller. I mean, that's what the song's about, right? And I don't listen to too much Matchbox 20 because I don't think that they make good music. But I think I pretty much picked up the gist of it. I don't know. I'm going off today. I'm making enemies. How dare the sacred cow of Matchbox 20, Rob Thomas? It really is just like the motion, or the ocean under the moon. Okay, I've decided we don't want to be in that room anymore. And I've decided I don't want to be in this room. You got the kind of bosses that I can't quite schmoove. Give me a spirit heart so I can get the brimstone. You know Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas? It was a really big song. Like, I don't know if you were around for it, but Smooth really, it took over the radio waves. I am gonna have to fight them, okay. I'm trying to, let me just think about this for one moment, okay. I think there's a way we could at least get enough money to buy an item. And it involves, though I hate to say it, the boomerang. We could also, there's something to say about King Baby when you have the extension cord, right? Like, I've never felt the need to actually use it actively, and I don't think that this is going to change that too much, but if we could get... I could buy a bomb and get in there? If we could get... I don't know. I'm running on empty here. If we could get on the other side of the room with this guy, we'll get the occasional electrical damage out of this. I know, baby. I'm gonna blow your mind. I think we have to use this pill. Or at least I think there's a good case for it. Bombs are key, would help us out a ton. Any stat upgrade obviously would help us out. Friends till the end, it helps us out. It's not worth too much, but it helps us out. Yeah, it's just like, essentially, I think it was a bit of a pipe dream to hope that I would not take any damage. I think it would be reasonable to just, A, not die, and B, if there is a benevolent god above us, maybe they could allow me to get into a position where I'm not going to die immediately after this room either. This is a tough one. Baby. But it's been big milestones for the baby. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Let's leave that spirit heart, because we can go... Because we can't use the boomerang to get that... No. The boomerang's not that strong. You need to get, like, an industrial boomerang if you want to do that. Baby. Babe. Frog likes to hop, hop, pop. He jumps in the water. Splish. Splash. First he splishes, then he splashes. Look at that. Okay, not really what I wanted here, but that's fine. I was hoping to get 1 penny. But yeah, she's been rolling over like crazy. You know, first it happened, Kate had the baby in her little playpen in her office. She went to go to the bathroom, came back. Baby was upside down. She was on her tummy, just you know, rolling around. We're like, that's crazy. Same exact thing happened to me yesterday. Went to get a cup of coffee from the kitchen, came back, and she had flipped herself over. Oh my god. What? What is it? You can't solve the puzzle of the steel rod with a couple of spinning things on it? I don't want to give you the secret, but here's the thing. They spin. Oh, look at that, you spun it like crazy. You got a license for that? Those were okay, so after this room, we'll probably pause it briefly and, you know, assuage the baby's desires, whatever those may be. They couldn't possibly be fecal in nature, because I gotta tell you, based on my diaper experience this morning, this baby She's empty. The tank's got no gas in it. Okay, baby. I'm en route. I promise you, frog likes to hop, hop, hop. He jumps in the water. Tuk-a-tuk-a-tuk. Splish. And then you won't believe this. Splish. And then you won't believe this, baby. Then they choose to splash. I ask you, does this make sense? That one animal, the only animal with access to splish, also bogarts the splash. She loved it. Okay, for about half a second, she loved it. I'm happy with our potato peeler play there. I don't think we need extra damage. Now we're in that danger zone. She's been placated for a second. Or has she? Or has she? We don't know. I shouldn't have pushed it. Okay, baby, one more room. Is it the bad Bernie Sanders impression? Will that get you? Babies love me. Why do so many of the babies get so few of the babies get all of the YouTube? Baby, I'm running out of bits. Okay, it took 4,000 episodes, but I really think this is why like Overcooked is not a hard game for me. Because, you know, it's all about just, like, maintaining your workflow and agility in the face of endless distractions. You know, we're playing a game that requires a certain degree of focus. Obviously, we've done it enough before that it's, like, second nature, but we're playing a game that requires a certain ability to focus. I'm trying to banter about things, you know, in parallel with that. And then also, every 2 seconds, there is a baby crying in the background. If anything, you know, it's probably harder to listen to than it is to actually work through for me. Yeah, see, baby? She's like, I do not see. Baby, you know what? If we could rework the baby psychology so that you fell asleep when Daddy was recording videos and you stayed awake for our walk, imagine what our life would look like. You'd be pointing at ducks and geese and stuff like that. All right, hold on. That'll come in time. I'm gonna pause and figure out what seems to be the problem here. One moment, please. All right, we are back. I gotta tell you, I'm not optimistic that was our last interruption, but it's fine, man. This is how it goes. It's the life of a baby. Can I tell you there was a great lesson in there? You know how I said there was no chance that there was another diaper? It was another diaper. And I find that, you know, this is maybe not that universal of a lesson as I'd like it to be, but, you know, sometimes when you're troubleshooting, there's like an answer that you self-select out of the possibilities. You go, there's no way it could be X, because I just did X like 2 days ago, or like I already know X isn't the problem, so like, you know, whenever you call tech support and they're like, have you restarted? And you're like, come on, what do you think, I'm 2 years old? No, I didn't restart. That's never the fix. And then, like, you try 75 things, then you restart it and it fixes it, and you're like, oh yeah. And that's why, you know, the best troubleshooters are people that do things, you know, systematically. They follow a flow chart to eliminate variables. And then, you know, it's just, you gotta trust the process instead of, you know, just taking a guess. I thought the baby needed to hear the frog song. She did not need to hear the frog song. Instead, she needed to, you know, be placed in a dry liquid absorption vessel, right, honey? She might need to hear the frog song later, but, you know, that's... A baby is really like, it's like a sophisticated, and you know, I'm gonna work on my phrasing here a little bit. You gotta let me finish, don't strip this with context. We don't even want that, I think. We're already capped out. It's like a sophisticated bop it, you know? And I mean, people are really just sophisticated bop its at the end of the day, you know? As you get older, the bop it and the twist it, the pull it, etc., becomes more complicated. You know, as a baby, there's no existential malaise or anything like that. It's mostly just like, I'm hungry, you know, I need affection, I got a dirty diaper, etc., etc. You know, that's like the original bop it. As you get older, there's oh, you know, I want something, I'm hungry, but I'm not that hungry. I want something light, but also, like, if it could be deep fried. And you're like, what the heck? This is the most complicated task that humanity has ever created for itself, to hit the extremely narrow target of this pseudo-physiological need. But really, like, that's... Some of child rearing is basically just extended troubleshooting. I feel like Jerry Seinfeld right now. It's like troubleshooting your computer. And then, when you got a problem you can't fix, you go to tech support. That's a pediatrician. You know, I mean, he's like a comedy scientist. I'm not saying that he's a great comedian. I think that he's a great comedy writer. Stand-up, I could honestly take or leave, but he's in the lab with a pen and a pad. He's not just, stepping on stage with a single cue card. Baby, I'm not gonna make you listen to Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up. What are you crying about? It's called a sidewalk. Why are you allowed to jog on the sidewalk? Joggers are the speeders of the foot highway. That's one I actually came up with yesterday while I was taking the baby on a walk. I found myself getting a little, I live in a city with, it's a ton of active people, and the weather is nice, so, people, you can't shake a stick without encountering somebody exercising outside, which is good, is good for your health, and I think that, it gives a nice vibrance to the city for sure. But also, when you're pushing a stroller and you got, joggers on both sides of you, then you try to, cross to get to the other side of the street. You got to cross to get through the bike lane. You got cyclists coming in both directions, and then a couple of the cyclists are also on the sidewalk, and they're swerving out of the way of joggers. It gets like, it's like playing an extended game of Frogger. Okay, so we got to run now. I'm not complaining. Like, what's my action item in that complaint? This is just one of those complaints just to complain. I don't even really wish it was different. I think that the current solution is actually pretty good. But sometimes it is a little annoying. And don't even get me started. Took a big hit off the caffeine there. Don't even get me started on the people with strollers. You okay there, baby? Oh, she's chilling. Who they just stop with their stroller in the middle of the sidewalk. If you got a stroller, you're like a tractor. You gotta pull over to the side a little bit. You can't just be standing, because you're blocking it up for everybody else. You're basically like the Ever Given stuck in the Suez Canal. I don't know if I actually think that this is going to be one of those takes that a lot of people agree with, and I assume that a lot of people won't, but really I'm on the same page as most of my demographic. I'm really surprised how many people don't treat the sidewalk like it's a road, if that makes sense. And it's admittedly not a road, but just it's not like I'm trying to create a system where you absolutely have to follow these arbitrary rules. But like when you got a lot of foot traffic on the sidewalk, we've already got a system that allows traffic to flow very efficiently. You walk on whatever side of the road, or the sidewalk, I should say, is, the same side you would drive on. If you're a bit of a slower walker, you go closer to the edge of the sidewalk so that faster traffic can move through the middle. The number of people who, and I, used to be deferential. I used to get out of people's way. Now, I don't make it like a thing, but because I have a stroller, I can basically go wherever I want, and people, except all but the, most, jerky amongst us will be like, oh, he's got a stroller, I'll let him have this one. But which reminds me, yesterday, when you got a stroller, when you're on the sidewalk, you gotta go on the little ramped edge of the sidewalk, right? You don't go over the curb. So there's always when you're crossing the road, there's always a little part of the sidewalk that angles down, goes level with the road, and then you come up on the other side. I was walking yesterday with the baby in the stroller, and I angled myself. I saw there was a gentleman walking in the other direction. I angled myself to try to take the ramp downwards, and then he basically stole it, which is, fine. And then I angled myself onto it as he was coming off, and he gave me like a death glare. Like, how dare you try to get onto this ramp. And I was like, buddy, this ramp was not made for you. This ramp is for vehicles, is not for human beings. Don't make me take it up with the tribunal. And I stared him dead in the eyes. I was like, nothing you do can possibly hurt me. Not just on a physical level, because I'm sure, you know, they would be a pretty even match. I just mean on a spiritual level. Look at me, man. I haven't showered in like 36 hours. I'm out here walking this baby. The baby's asleep. I'm just trying to get a little bit of peace and quiet. You know? Do I seem like I'm going to shy away from interacting with another adult for the first time in 16 months, even if it is inhospitable? Absolutely not. And I said that all with my eyes, in a matter of microseconds. But I used to, like, I always walk, you know, we drive on the right side of the road. And by that, I mean both the side of the road that's on the right and also the side of the road that is correct in North America. So whenever I walk on the right side of the road. Let's go. That's a very valuable item, not very valuable item. Okay, baby. Okay, we'll pause this one. I'll get back to that. Was a good bit. I'll get back to it in a second. All right, we have temporarily placated the baby. We haven't finished this floor. Oh my god, dude. I've been 38 minutes real time into recording this Isaac episode. This 19 minutes in. I mean, Ed and I were talking about this during our like interview. That's a really good case study, I think, in and I don't mean this in a negative way, just in a realistic way, really. In how, like, you're having a child changes, like, your workflow and productivity and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, you'll get windows that are one-to-one. Your output will essentially match the time required. Or your time required will match your output, I should say. You'll also get times where, like, to complete a 15-minute task will take 2 hours. And it is what it is, you know? What are you going to do about it? What we're going to do about it is get back to the lecture at hand, which is... I don't know if other people concern themselves with this. I'm a little jealous, and I mean this both sincere in terms of jealousy and also as a mild insult. I feel like there is a proportion of the population that is just blissfully unaware of themselves. And I think that comes with a lot of positives. You know, I think they... break rules or norms and Yes, baby? What's up? How you doing? She's like, I'm doing great, but you were not looking at me for 2 seconds. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get this toy set up, and we're gonna put you in the bouncing chair, and we're gonna see maybe the bouncing chair is the antidote to whatever ails you right now. I know you're gonna be like, did you check the diaper? Oh, we checked the diaper. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Didn't we? Yeah, yes, we did. Frog likes to hop, hop, hop. He jumps in the water. Tickety-tickety-doom. Splish. Splash. Sorry, I watched her face turn to anguish in a millisecond, and then I'm just trying to get it to go back to happiness. I'll see you in a moment. Alright, it's like an hour later. Hello. We're back. I have no concept of where I am at on the run. We were mid-room. Okay, I think we were doing some backtracking. I don't know. Like, we're 20 minutes into an Isaac run. And I've been on it for now an hour and 20 minutes. It's, this is a disjointed one. I felt like we had some good momentum. Real life has squandered some of that. And you know what? It is what it is. We're gonna get there. HP's a little low. Stats are good. This item, not so much. I'm trying to think. What, depths 1? Caves 2. Yeah, okay, I could have told you that. In so many ways. How do we get out of this run? How do we live? How do we survive? If I remember correctly, in my ancient long-term memory storage from many moons ago, am I insane, or was there... I thought there was a stone chest available. That's a big whiff. They sucked a lot of bombs from me on that room. I thought that there was a stone chest. And if there is a stone chest, I mean, we're getting these bombs for free right now, which is a big positive. We can toss that down for free then. You never know what you might get inside of that. It's enough for us to at least get a Tinted Rock, if a Tinted Rock, or a Spirit Heart, I should say, is available. And that guarantees us probably another floor of survivability. This is definitely our secret room. Honestly, we did one of those things that is like the classic don't do. We didn't wait to see what all our bombs would look like before we figured out whether we'd use 2 of clubs or not. But hey, here's how I look at 2 of clubs. You can double your bombs. Obviously very valuable. Or, in a pinch, you got 2 bombs. Obviously, we'd rather, you know, get more than 2 bombs if those are our options. But, at the end of the day, there's definitely a certain degree of utility to being able to have 2 bombs at any point. So all is not lost. We maybe, you know, I'm trying to draw a distinction between using something suboptimally and having wasted something. You know, if you get a gift certificate for Christmas and you don't use it, you've wasted it. If you use it to buy something and then, you know, 6 months later you're like, oh, actually I would have rather had Beyblades or something, it's not a waste. It's suboptimal. But, you know, there's a very, a lot of euphemisms or phrases or analogies, so on and so forth. Colloquialisms I have a certain amount of issue with. I think they tend to not stand up to analysis. For example, you know, the one I always go back to, take care of the pennies, the pounds take care of themselves. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, if you don't buy a cup of coffee on Starbucks every single day, then, you know, enjoy getting wealthy. That's not... I mean, I guess the spirit of it is that small actions can have large consequences for you in that realm. But, you know, I think realistically, it's kind of ignorant of today's modern economic conditions. Let's put it that way. But one I really like is that perfect is the enemy of good. You know, there's some tasks that need to be done perfectly, and then there's some tasks that just need to be done. I don't know how that relates to Isaac fully, but that's okay. You know what? Sure. Let's take Libra. Let's get wild with it. That was a huge damage upgrade and only a very, very minor tiers downgrade. I definitely believe that, because, like, I don't know, here's the thing, right? Like, I love Malf, but I think back to, and some people like watching this, obviously, you know, we just got different vibes. When we're playing something like Planet Coaster, I'm like, get a coaster down, and then you're done. When Malf first started full-time streaming, he spent literally 2 months of Wednesdays designing one roller coaster, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't know if it ever opened. Now, if you're like a perfectionist, I understand. There's something to be said about, you know, taking a lot of time and making, you know, one thing absolutely perfect. There's also something to be said about, you know, just plunking down a couple of whirligigs and being good to go. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'll admit, there are probably times where I should try to be a little bit more detail-oriented, but instead I'm just like, it's good to go. Not all tasks, I think, are built to just basically be prototyped and then forgotten. But I definitely find it online, like, especially when you're streaming, if you have the misfortune of having to stream a game like Factorio, which is, again, a beautiful game. I choose not to die here, for the record. But sometimes, you know, the community involved with it can get a little, let's just say anal about, I'm dead? Alright. This is like the worst Isaac episode I've ever recorded. I'm so happy Repentance is coming out soon. And I'll see you later. Thanks for suffering alongside me.